At 39 years old, most football legends are long retired or playing in exhibition leagues, but Lionel Messi is currently tearing up his 6th World Cup. He's already broken the all-time scoring record, but can this one-man army carry Argentina all the way? 18 goals in the World Cup, more than anyone else. Before turning 30 years old, Lionel Messi only had 5. He's already scored 5 in the 2026 World Cup. He's only played 2 games, had a goal narrowly disallowed for offsides in one of them, and missed a penalty in the other. Tomorrow, he will be 39 years old. But 2 games into his 6th World Cup, he is probably the best player so far that the competition has to offer. There is a concern that it seems nobody else in Argentina colors is capable of scoring themselves. Almost every play that did not involve Messi fell quite flat. However, for today, at the very least, I doubt that's a concern for anyone in albiceleste colors at all. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Lionel Messi is timeless. You know it, I know it. Nobody can deny it. Nobody's saying otherwise at the very least. We've all had trouble putting how good he is into words that do what he does justice for 22 years now. If you are one of those people that refuses to acknowledge his greatness, and because you keep refusing to acknowledge it, you get bombarded by friends and family and loved ones making fun of you, just know that it could be worse. You could be the Uruguayan couple that got engaged just as Cabo Verde took the lead against them. Great game, by the way, and what a story Cabo Verde have turned out to be in this World Cup. But this video is not about them. This game was played on the 40th anniversary of Maradona's famous Hand of God game. Subscribe for more insights just like that. Now, Maradona's compatriots' goals may not have been as jaw-dropping, but they were iconic in their own way. Quote, "I get emotional watching him now. I kept going until the age of 39, but I was in the Qatari League by then and had stopped playing for Spain years earlier. Leo is that age now, but when you look at him, he's still exactly the same. He hasn't changed. Anyone else would have retired after winning the 2022 World Cup, but he's such a competitive animal, he's convinced he can win it again." End quote. This is a quote from Xavi coming from a post of his in The Athletic written after Argentina's opener against Algeria. Hard to argue with him. Lionel Messi scored a hat-trick in that game. Going into this game against Austria, the only thing on people's minds was the record, and it was a question of when rather than if. So when Lautaro Martinez got taken down in Austria's box and won a penalty, you can imagine what the immediate reaction was. When Messi missed that penalty, for a brief second, I feel that there were those that may have thought it was going to be that kind of day. Austria were defending well against the entirety of Argentina, by the way, not just Messi. But seeing as how every ball somehow found its way back to Messi, it was last-ditch challenges against him that were the norm. First, he gets the ball back after playing just a ridiculous pass, and Danso clears. In another moment, Messi's bearing down on goal, does some smooth footwork, and then David Alaba comes to the rescue, leading to an Alexander Schlager save. The Schlagers were doing a lot of work here. Austria were quite good in this game, I thought. I mean, at least a lot better than I thought that they would fare. You know, they were in typical Ralf Rangnick fashion, quite compact. They pressed really well. They stopped the champions from getting into a real flow of things, and a real rhythm for the most part. It's a template that I think a lot of teams that face Argentina in the future should abide by. But the part of it that most teams should try really hard to stay away from is the one where Austria failed to create all that much at all. Only one shot on target when they worked so many good positions and opportunities is really poor. But then again, I guess that's what happens when you don't really have any top attackers. Argentina, on the other hand, have top attackers in droves. But there's only really one of them that seems to move the needle. Now, before we talk about that attacker's goals and Argentina's obvious problems, I have to keep the lights on. This video is sponsored. Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek has you covered for all the games. It's the #1 rated ticketing app with over 35 million downloads and over 70,000 events listed on the site. Sports, concerts, festivals, anything that pulls a crowd. I've actually been a SeatGeek user whenever I'm in the States for at least 3 or 4 years now. What I appreciate is the rating system. Every ticket gets a score from 1 to 10, so you basically know whether the listing is a fair deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad, and every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. So, if you're in the US this summer for the World Cup, I have a special discount. Get $30 off any World Cup ticket when you spend $200 or more. Just use code FOOTBALLICONIC. Hit the link in the description so the code gets auto-applied. That is $30 off any World Cup ticket when you spend $200 or more using code FOOTBALLICONIC. Thanks again to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. First goal. Argentina work the left, and Facundo Medina plays a ball through the box that Thiago Almada dummies to an oncoming Messi. But before we all get carried away and forget some crucial details, let's all acknowledge that there was undoubtedly a foul in the lead-up to this goal. McAllister very clearly takes out Zaverschlager in the lead-up, and nothing happens. VAR did not care. Upon seeing that, people were likely reminded of the last match Argentina played against Algeria, where Messi arguably should not have been on the pitch to get a hat-trick. If you haven't already, you can expect to hear quite a lot about the conspiracy theories surrounding Argentina stretching back to the last World Cup as they progress further in this one. But this is not the place to talk about that. Let's go ahead and talk about the second goal. Now, it's a great goal, but to understand everything that happened, we need to take a look at the whole sequence. 90th minute. And it's him who plays Julian Alvarez one-on-one. Alvarez has to score over here, but he doesn't. And you know what? Fair play to Alexander Schlager because it's a good save. Paredes gets on the ball, and the first thing he does is pass to Messi. Of course he does. Check out Messi's reaction and control here. Most other players lose possession immediately. He gets it under a spell. Fernandez arrives late, but knows not to get in his way. Messi's close control keeps the ball in his possession as he dribbles around Austria's defense here. He does get a bit lucky with a rebound, but does not make the same mistake twice. It's remarkable. It's just remarkable what he did in this game and what he's been doing for so long. But the funniest thing about all of this is that Messi wasn't even all that spectacular in this game. But with him, it's common knowledge that all he needs is one moment. And in this game, he provided two. Since Lionel Scaloni took over as Argentina manager, his plan was clear for everyone to see. Maximize the potential of 10 men while protecting the 11th at all costs. Everyone else does the pressing. Everyone else does the dirty work. You keep a clean sheet, and this man will take you over the line. It wasn't always just Messi that would clutch up for Argentina in these big moments. You know, I'm thinking back to Angel Di Maria in 2021, for example. Don't forget he scored the goal that broke Argentina's 28-year drought, winning them the 2021 Copa America as a result of it. Now, a big problem is that Di Maria is gone. And listen, nobody was expecting Lionel Messi to last this long, but here he is, and the team is still really, really dependent on him. For all the praise we heap on Messi, it's easy to forget that nobody else in that side does anything that comes close to threatening Austria's goal. Every shot never made it past the first defender. We already spoke about Julian Alvarez. Alvarez will probably be the first to let you know that this was a massive let-off. A better timed tackle on Lautaro Martinez, and it's no penalty. Both goals came from situations where Messi arrived late to finish. I find it hard to believe that Argentina will be able to slow down their attack like this moving forward and wait for Messi to show up and provide the goods before their attack just collapses entirely. And then there was another thing that I noticed when I was watching the replays back, specifically the second goal, that made me question quite a bit. Let's go back here and see the sequence, as Messi dribbles around and takes his shot. We have Alvarez, Paredes, and Fernandez just watching as Messi weaves his way through. Obviously, this is Lionel Messi we're talking about over here. Nobody in their right mind would ever think that they are a better option than him inside of the box. These players, his teammates, know that better than any of us ever will. That's not my concern. It's just that they're all just standing there. If there's a deflection, all of them are flat-footed. Compare their body language with that of Austria's defenders. This is 5 men against one guy. Now, I do get that this is the 95th minute, even though Paredes and Alvarez hadn't been on the pitch for more than 30 minutes at this point. But all I'm trying to say is that these guys are not going to beat the Messi dependency allegations. On top of this, Cristian Romero went off with an injury in the 58th minute. Argentina cannot afford to have things go against them here. Now, for all the doom and gloom that it sounds like I'm trying to spread, I want you to know I think Argentina deserved to win this game. They played well. It was a very physical game. I like that. You know, they got up in the faces of these Austrian players as they usually do, as is their trademark. What I'm saying is that if nobody else steps up, Messi is going to be left feeling the same way he did for the 17 years between 2004 and 2021. Austria will go through to the next round, I think, barring disaster against Jordan. Argentina, of course, are guaranteed to go through. The Golden Boot race is absolutely on fire. Messi is now on 5 goals. As I'm recording this, Kylian Mbappé has already scored a goal against Iraq, and the game's been delayed. He will probably score when it's resumed. If you want to keep diving deep into the historic moments and tactical breakdowns of the beautiful game, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time inside the Football Vault.